Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am finally back after a little break here. It is Sunday, and I am bringing back Music Sundays. I think I've gotten kind of off course with this, and so I want to come back, and we're going to start things off today by taking a look at the famous Royal Albert Hall, because in my next video that I'm going to be releasing today, I'm going to be going to the last night of the Proms, and we're going to take a look at one of the songs from that. But I've been curious since the beginning about kind of the Royal Albert Hall and the history of it because it is a big name that I think a lot of people around the world know and have heard about before. So that is what we're going to focus on in this video. Also, Roger here says hey. And Scarlett says hi too, but she's a little sacked out right now. As you can see, she is laying down behind me and she is sacked out. So she has a camera now, which is one of the reasons why I have taken a break from my channel, is to set up kind of like a new setup here to help my workflow a little bit. I've got some new software and some new equipment that I'm playing around with, so it's been fun. But yeah, Royal Albert Hall, we're going to take a look at that today. Now, some of you guys have maybe seen my video that I did a few months back on Rule Britannia, and I unfortunately kept saying Rule Britannia back then because I didn't know the proper pronunciation, but a lot of you down in the comments got on to me about that and said that it is called Britannia. So I got that now. I think it was Sarah Connolly, if I'm not mistaken, who sang the solo on that, and she did a great job. She dressed up as a it was oh gosh, who is the famous admiral? Admiral Nelson, right? I think she was dressed up as Nelson, and she came out and just. I mean, I really loved her performance. Livy says she had the British flag upside down in that, but I don't know the difference. That's why this flag is kind of this way on my chair today. I've got the British flag that one of my subscribers sent to me from the UK, and setting a little bit of the mood here today. But I do want to kind of like take a look at the Royal Albert Hall though, so we're going to take a look at the Wikipedia article for it here. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I do kind of want to get an idea for the history of it and so forth. So, we know the Royal Albert Hall here is a concert hall on the northern edge of South Kensington, London. And there's a map here. I do want to take a look at that really quickly, just to kind of see where it is in London. Not that I'm super familiar with London. I've never really been there before, but I just kind of want to see where it is in proximity. So it looks like it's on the western side of London, Kensington. I think Charlie Chaplin is from Kensington. That's where one of his homes was growing up. I'm a big Chaplin fan, by the way, for people who don't know that. Oh, it's nice. It's across from the park. Is that the park? Because you guys say that there is a park in like the last night of the proms. Um, on that video, you guys said there's a big park where everybody kind of congregates and they like feed the whatever the performance from the Royal Albert Hall to the park where people are gathered outside. Is that this park right here, or is that another? Is it Hyde Park? Wasn't it Hyde Park where you guys said that that happened? This doesn't tell me what the name of the park is though. The Broad Walk? Flower Walk? What is this park called? Come on, Google. Okay, I don't know what the park's called. You guys can let me know if that's where they do that. I'd only say that because it's right next to the Albert Hall. Maybe it's not though. Maybe well, let me figure out where the heck Hyde Park is. Where's Hyde Park? Oh, it's pulling up Hyde Park in Memphis, which is where I am. Let's Is it Hyde Park? London? Just want to make sure I got the right name. I don't know. Okay, here we are. Okay, that is Hyde Park. Okay. Okay, that must be the park then. That must be the park then where all of this takes place. So that's really cool that it's like right next to the Royal Albert Hall. Because when you guys were telling me that, I was like, I don't know where Hyde Park is. I didn't realize it was right across the street from there. But that's pretty cool. Okay. Since the hall's opening by Queen Victoria in 1871, so it's a pretty old building, relatively speaking. for Americans, 1871 is old. Okay, so the world's... I know that a lot of artists, I think some like... I saw a clip where like the 007, like a James Bond film premiered there or something. So movie premieres, a lot of concerts, both classical and like rock concerts, I think happen there too. And let's see. It was supposed to have originally been called the Central Hall of Arts and Sciences. The name changed to the Royal Albert Hall of Arts and Sciences by Queen Victoria. Okay. And in memory of her husband, Prince Albert, who died 6 years earlier, she laid a foundation stone. So the hall is named after Prince Albert then? Okay. That's interesting. Alright. And it looks like 1851, the Great Exhibition organized by Prince Albert, the Prince Consort, was held in Hyde Park, London. Okay, so that's kind of where the history of it started, it seems like. Okay, so he was kind of like one of the foundational, I guess, figures of Hyde Park, of the Royal Albert Hall, and so that's one of the reasons it's named after him, I guess. There's so much history in here, though. Like, there's too much for us to really go through here. But I just kind of wanted to get an idea for the dates of like when it was established and how it came to be. And there is so much history here. I tried to look for a documentary on the Royal Albert Hall, and the video that we're going to do today is the closest thing I could find, and it's not very long, but I'm hoping that it'll give me at least some sense of the history of the hall, because it is very world famous. You know, it's very world famous. It's definitely something that has been in my consciousness, because I hear like British actors and stuff that I like refer to it a lot, and so like I'm aware of it, and I've seen a couple of things in there before that I've done on my channel, but I would like to learn more about the history of it, because you know it is so prominent, and learn more about like the importance of it in like the British culture and everything. And I'm learning more and more about like the last night at the proms and stuff. So it's a really interesting subject for me. And so yeah, I hope this video will kind of shed some light on some of the history of it for me. I don't know how detailed it's going to be, but it should be fun to watch. So I hope you guys will enjoy this as well. Maybe you're from the UK, maybe you know a lot about the Royal Albert Hall. If you do, then you can fill in a lot of the blanks that we're not going to get to in this video. Comment that stuff below. If I have any questions, answer that in the comments. I would appreciate it. Maybe you're from the UK and you don't know the history of the Royal Albert Hall. It's just kind of always been there for you. So maybe this will be a cool video for you to kind of learn more about your own history of one of the buildings in London. So really looking forward to it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the fold-out history of the Royal Albert Hall.
Welcome to the Royal Albert Hall. My name is Bridget, and I'm here to take you around this stunningly beautiful building. The Royal Albert Hall is one of the world's most iconic music venues, and throughout its 150 years of history, we have had every sort of music performed here. Everything from classical, rock, jazz, pop, world music, hip-hop, grime, opera, you name it, we've had it. I'm very excited because today we're here to speak to Nicholas O'Neill, who has written a stunning book called Music.
Hello, my name is Nick O'Neill and I'm one of the authors of this wonderful new timeline book, Music, in conjunction with the Royal Albert Hall. It's a fold-out graphic history of music from its earliest beginnings right up to the present day, and I co-wrote it with Susan Hayes, and we were fortunate enough to have the wonderful Ruby Taylor as our illustrator. The hall features very strongly in this book, and in fact we have a Royal Albert Hall of Fame right at the end. And today we're going to look at some of the entries in this book and how they relate to the hall itself.
Speaking of the Royal Albert Hall of Fame, we're here in front of a beautiful mural which showcases 340 people who have appeared and performed on stage at the Royal Albert Hall.
Really?
The mural was designed by Sir Peter Blake, who was also responsible for co-designing the artwork on the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Club album cover.
I'm just looking at this painting, and I see the Beatles at the very back. If you guys see the, I don't know what that is, crawling over the the banister in that painting up there by the lady in the yellow. If you look right below that, you'll see the Beatles. I think those are the Beatles. And then right next to them on the left, to our left, I think that's Elvis. But to my knowledge, he never played outside of the United States. I thought that he had only played live here in the US. I didn't realize that he would have performed at the Royal Albert Hall. Maybe I'm wrong though about that. So you guys let me know. I think that's Elvis. It looks a lot like him in like the 70s version of Elvis. And I only bring that up because I'm from Memphis, where Elvis is, where Graceland is, and where Elvis kind of settled and spent a lot of his life. And I know he's originally from Tupelo, but he kind of made he made Memphis his hometown. Anyway, that's the only reason I bring that up. Anyway, we'll continue.
The Beatles played here at the height of Beatlemania, and we have a panel about them in the book. And their fans were so enthusiastic that those in charge of the hall thought that they might damage the auditorium. And John Lennon later worked out that it would take 4,000 holes to fill the Albert Hall because he sang about it in his song A Day in the Life.
I remember that.
Other rock and pop legends have played here as well, such as Jimi Hendrix and David Bowie. And the hall is used regularly for rock and pop concerts today as well.
Well, we've spoken about the Royal Albert Hall a number of times now, so how about we step inside the auditorium and see what it's like to be a member of the audience. So here we are inside the auditorium of the Royal Albert Hall. You can see the beautiful building behind us here. And one of the great things about the hall is the sheer amount of variety of music that has been performed over the years. And it's come from all sorts of different cultures and backgrounds. And Nick, you're going to tell us a little bit more about that.
It's extraordinary to think that right from the very beginning of human history, we've gathered together to make music. And that's something that we explore, for example, in this double spread right at the beginning of the book. And we still do that today at festivals and in halls such as this. And the Royal Albert Hall has been a focal point for music from all over the planet. So musicians featured in the book, such as the Bengali sitar player Ravi Shankar, and also musicians as diverse as Stefan Grappelli and Yehudi Menuhin have also played here.
It's really lovely to sit here and think about the number of people that have heard incredible live music right from these seats over the last 150 years. It's just stunning. But while you can obviously hear live music here, it's also quite synonymous with recorded music and has become a recording studio on a number of occasions.
Oh, really?
There's so many live at the Royal Albert Hall albums available.
Oh, okay.
So while recorded music is very much a part of our lives now, it hasn't really been around for that long, maybe only 150 years or so. The first recording that we really know of, which is featured here in the book, is in 1860, and it's a recording of somebody singing Au clair de la lune. But once the technology began to advance, then audiences were able to hear music and performances by people they would never otherwise have heard. So we have here in the book a picture of Dame Nellie Melba doing some recording in 1904, and she was one of the first performers to take advantage of these new formats, to really kind of get in touch with audiences who would never otherwise have heard her at all.
Hmm.
And jazz and other new styles took advantage of this to become very widespread and very popular from the 1920s. Jazz songs in particular were very short, so they would fit on a single side of a 78 RPM record, and it helped jazz to become one of the most important styles of music of the early 20th century, and performers of jazz such as Billie Holiday ended up performing here in the 1950s. And
Oh,
of course,
wow.
one of the really great things about recorded music nowadays is that you can listen to it pretty much wherever you are. And we have a Spotify playlist at the end of this book, which will enable you to listen to music from right from the start up to the present day, so you can
Oh,
listen
that's
as well
cool.
as read and follow along the timeline.
And now, rather excitingly, we're going to show you the stage of the Royal Albert Hall where all of the action happens. Quite something, isn't it?
Wow, this is quite the view.
Almost looks like a colis, like the Roman Colosseum, almost with the floor low like that. Just a
So
structure
if
that it
you've
actually
ever
doesn't look
wondered
like
what
it.
it's like to be a performer at the Royal Albert Hall, we're now sitting on the stage with this stunning view behind us.
And one of the most striking things about the hall is the organ, which has nearly 10,000 pipes, was built by Henry.
I'm just gonna say, I was talking about how the floor is lowered like that. It really does give me like vibes of the Roman Colosseum. Now, obviously, it looks like it's only about half of an oval. It's not like the full oval there. But I didn't realize that's the way it was designed. I thought that there were seats that came up to the stage. But I'm sure that they can like put seats in there, whenever there's an event that requires that, or they can leave it empty like that for additional, I guess, performers, if they want to extend the stage or whatever. So I'm sure that they can customize it based on, whatever sort of event there is there. Um, it seems to me though, like the video I saw of the last night of the proms, they did have seats coming up um, to the stage maybe or close to it, but I'm not sure where like where they put the orchestra and all of that, if they were just on the stage or if they kind of built it out a little bit more to fill in some of that floor space. So I'll have to keep an eye on that in the next video that I do that I'm about to watch on one of the songs from last night of the proms, I guess.
The most striking things about the hall is the organ, which has nearly 10,000 pipes, was built by Henry Willis
Wow,
and has been here since
10,000?
the opening of the hall.
It has indeed, and it was originally called the Voice of Jupiter because of its booming sound. It's slightly changed since the beginning, but it is still in perfect condition and is a stunning instrument.
And we have in the book some of the earliest organs which were water powered, but the instrument has developed vastly since then, and now it can imitate almost all the sounds of an orchestra, so flutes and oboes and bassoons and trumpets and trombones and many more besides.
And
I didn't know they could do that.
You would find all of those instruments on the stage here. In fact, in the final couple of pages of the book, you come across this beautiful illustration of an entire orchestra on stage at the Royal Albert Hall, of course led by the conductor. Thank you for joining us today on a look around the Royal Albert Hall, and we really hope to welcome you sometime soon to see it in its full glory.
This beautifully illustrated hardback book, Music, a Fold-Out Graphic History, is available from 5th of November, priced £14.99, from bookshops, from Amazon, and in-store and online at the Royal Albert Hall.
Wow, very cool. I wanted one of those books. I think that would be a really cool thing to have. Okay, guys, well, that was it. That was the history, or at least a very brief history of the Royal Albert Hall. I would really like to see one that gets more into like a fuller tour of the Albert Hall and kind of like showing the different parts of it, maybe a little bit of the behind the scenes. Now, I did notice that the this channel, the Royal Albert Hall channel, the official one, does have some behind the scenes videos on some of the different events that they have there. So one of them was on oh gosh, was it Praise Night or something like that, of the proms, and it's like a 10-minute video that kind of shows some of the behind the scenes of that. And because I do a lot of theater production, I would be very very interested in kind of watching one of those videos and kind of seeing how they set up things, and you know all the work that goes in behind the scenes on stuff like that. And I wish they had one on the last night of the prom so I can see how that is set up and how they do all of that, but they don't. So I think we'll just do that other one instead, and probably we'll watch some of the praise night stuff too, because the last night of the prom, or not the last night, but the proms in general goes on for weeks, and so there's a lot to it. And so I would like to just do a bunch of videos on the different aspects of it, and just learn more about the different parts of the proms and stuff. I think that would be really fun to do. But coming up next, I am going to do Land of Hope and Glory, finally. I've done Rule Britannia, and so we're going to get into a little bit more of the proms, last night of the proms, and learn a little bit more about that. So that's coming up next on Music Sundays. We want to make sure you stay tuned for that. Guys, I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and if you did enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe. I would certainly appreciate that. Roger and Scarlett would too. Let's check on Scarlett. She's shifted positions. she's still sacked out. Also, a quick note to check out my social media links and email and Patreon links are all in the description of this video and my pinned comment if you're interested in any of that stuff. And yeah, thanks again for watching, and we'll have more of stuff from Royal Albert Hall. We'll have a lot more stuff coming up in the near future on stuff that was performed in the Royal Albert Hall. So I'm looking forward to it. Hope you are too, and hopefully we'll be back for all of that. We'll see you next time.